The 80s was a time where I learned how to have my feet on the ground and my head in heaven. I got married in 1979 and had a beautiful daughter named Leilani. I'm so proud of her. Her husband is from Egypt and she has three wonderful daughters. She has embraced the Muslim faith. Her husband is a jewel. They have an incredible sense of dignity, humor, and love in their lives. They live in South Carolina. Leilani loved the ocean. At 2 years old, we would boogie board. We would catch a wave and she would hold on to me. We loved it. She learned the beauty of the ocean. She learned how to love different ethnic cuisines. Imagine at 2 years old, loving potato subject. Our favorite restaurant was Sushin, a Japanese restaurant. Leilani's favorite was an eggplant dish with an incredible miso-like sauce. We would love when we got back to the beach to visit Athens Juice Bar. They would make incredible fruit juices. Our favorite was homemade fresh pina colada. I went back to school and learned about writing the software. This was love at first sight. I could develop an incredible piece of software starting from a blank slate. Through trial and errors, fixing bugs, a product then is used to make things easier to get the job done. I was a software engineer for the Miami Beach police department. I have incredible memories of working there. I'm still in contact with some of my former coworkers. They love the work I performed. During this time, there was a huge cocaine epidemic in South Florida. Every day, huge amounts of cocaine was stored in the Miami Beach Police Department. I developed a property management program where all evidence was logged into the computer program. I could provide many different kinds of reports that were used for the police department. The police were very nice and appreciative of my work. I developed programs which made their life easier. I wrote a climate analysis program during this time. President Carter, during the Mariel refugee crisis, allowed many Cubans into the United States. Consequently, Fidel Castro set free many prisoners from his prisons. Crime skyrocketed in Miami Beach. I wrote a program which kept track and reported on many different aspects of crime. I developed a pawn shop program. Imagine someone broke into your home and stole some jewelry. They would try to pawn it to a pawn shop. The Miami Beach had a new law where any items which came to the pawn shop had to be registered with the program I wrote. We then could identify any item which was to be sold with any item that was stolen. For every surfer's dream would have the chance to surf in spots around the world. I've been fortunate. I've been able to do that. I surfed in California, Mexico, Hawaii, Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, France, Spain, and South Africa. Probably one of the best ways I ever surfed was in Peru. When I was in high school, I went to a good friend's house named Nick Roth. Well, Nick had the Surfer magazine, and both of us saw his pictures of Chacama, Peru. In this picture was a left point break with about 10 waves breaking on this huge point. The picture was so awesome that my dream was someday I would be able to go there. Well, years later, I made it there. The place is called Chacama. It's located in a small fishing village about 10 hours north of Lima, the capital. Chacama, on a good day, is one of God's wonders to the world. The ride on a good day is probably 1 mile. It breaks on a sandy bottom. The wind is always offshore. When I was there, a crowded day, it was 4 people in the water. I met this Argentine surfer and we became good friends. I stayed at this funky hotel-like shack for 2 weeks. The entire time it cost me $30. The people were extremely friendly. I'll never forget surfing this place with my Argentine friend. We would wake up early in the morning and just catch wave after wave. The water was like California on a summer day, cold but just right. At lunch every day I would have rice, vegetables, and of course fresh fish. Peru reminded me of California in the mid-50s. The coastline was still very remote. Surfing to me has always been a wonderful experience. I feel completely at home in the water. Surfers all around the world have a common bond. Words just can't describe it. I come from a generation where surfing is more like a surfing spiritual experience. I remember days with my brother where after each wave you'd be so happy you could hardly paddle back out. There's nothing like being on a wave where the wave just tubes over you. All you can see is a small light at the end of the tunnel. The sound inside is so serene. Then you come gushing out. Talking about joy. I feel surfing allows me to be in harmony with nature. Living in Hawaii, I'm at the door before sunrise so I can be the first one out in the water. It's such a glorious feeling to be out there riding alone. The sunrises are very special. You're out in the water seeing God's paintbrush in the sky. A few of your friends paddle out and you're in bliss. We know that we are fortunate. At times in my life, I have the opportunity to surf the wave inside of us. I remember riding a rainbow-colored wave that was alive. This wave was joy itself. It carried me with so much love. I remember closing my eyes when I was taken to another dimension. I was in this cosmic sea. It was like water, but it wasn't. You could call it a light essence. Anyway, I had this golden surfboard I remember taking off on waves and riding for infinity. The joy and sensation was incredible. As a wave was breaking, this incredible music came out. You can get locked in for a few minutes on end. Inside, you felt totally one with the wave. The wave was conscious and so were you. I'll never forget that experience. It only happened probably 3 or 4 times. I'll probably surf the rest of my life. I'm over 40 and yet I can still be in the water for 68 hours straight. The only reason I don't stay warm, I also have a family. Surfing has been real good to me. It kept me out of a lot of trouble in high school. While my friends were partying, I was out in the ocean. Nick Roth. I have known Nick since junior high school. We went on many surfing adventures in high school. Nick is one of those guys that whatever he touches turns to gold. He was good at whatever sport he played in. Yet at surfing, it seemed he was destined to be a surfer. If Nick was young today, he would be, in my eyes, one of the best surfers in the world. He would have tons of money. Nick doesn't surf for fame, fortune, or glory. He surfs because it's a part of his life. He is an artist when it comes to surfing. He has nothing to prove. He just smiles like a wise man. One funny story is about Nick and his dad. He would call me Electric Man. He said my voice would sound like an electric computer. Years later, I stopped and pondered what he said. It seems like his subconscious was onto something. He was picking something up about me and couldn't quite pinpoint it. To this day, he was one of the only people who picked up that I was different. Nick moved from Orange County to Depot Bay about 10 years ago. He still surfs at 64 years old. I saw him for the first time in years, and we connected. That time is endless. It just seems like yesterday we saw each other. In fact, it was over 30 years ago. Nick is definitely a web in my life. All of my life, we have been fascinated by dolphins and whales. My favorite show as a kid was Flipper. All my life I wanted to swim with dolphins. I remember one time in Florida, my ex-wife, my daughter Chanda, and I had the opportunity to swim with dolphins. It truly was a dream come true. I have pictures of my daughter on my shoulders, and 2 dolphins are towing each of us around. I felt so much love and compassion from them. I once had a meditation experience where I was body surfing on this wave of joy, holding onto a dolphin. We had so much fun. There was a time in my life for about 6 months my family would go to SeaWorld in San Diego. At times I would go after work. They had a dolphin and a whale pool. After a period of time, the dolphins would get to know you. All these tourists would be amazed. They would have the fish, but they were playing with my family. They couldn't understand it. I just smiled. I developed a great relationship with them. Whenever I came, they would come up and let me stroke with them and play with them. My dream really did come through. Sometimes I feel that dolphins are more in touch with themselves than human beings. Their whole life is immersed in play and harmony. They existed long before man. Maybe we should learn from our brothers of the sea. When I was living in Miami, Florida, I had this incredible experience. I was with some friends and we decided to try to channel an entity. I have never tried this before. Anyway, I closed my eyes for a few minutes. I felt a strong presence of this being. It was the same feeling if your eyes were closed, you could sense the presence of someone walking into the room. This being was full of love and joy. This being was Archangel Michael. Michael was of a teaching was completely different than all the others. It was more on the subconscious experimental level. I could feel this presence enter my body. I was lifted and shifted a few degrees. I was still my body, but my consciousness was altered. His teachings were not of words, but experiences. I felt very close to him. I felt he was a very good friend of mine. Through him, I had experienced that we were part of the same energy pattern. There are infinite energy patterns in the universe, and we are part of a particular strand. Through him, I realized my name was Micaiah. I realized I was something of a newcomer to this planet. I learned I haven't been here for 34,000 years. I realized that the reason I loved meditation so much in the early 70s was I loved the existence of being infinite. For thousands of years, I existed without a body. I existed as energy. Michael reminded me of this. Both of us were trailblazers. I didn't channel Michael for very long. At times I still call him and talk to him, but mostly I'm learning on my own. I know probably people would have a hard time accepting challenge, but think of challenge as a form of TV or radio. By simply turning one's mind, man has a capability to tune into a particular frequency. There's nothing magical or mysterious about it. Can you name any sacred book which has not been channeled? God didn't write the Bible, people did. The scriptures were channeled. Do you think that the message only came 2,000 years ago and is no longer available today? We all have the capability, but forgotten how to. Oracles have been around for thousands of years. Just recently has this phenomenon been taking place inside of our society. From what I've seen and experienced, we have help from the other side to assist us in our own transformation. So many books have been around recently talking about angels when man dies. Isn't it about time we have that experience daily in our lives? Man has the capability. If we learn how to live in harmony, we can be open to it. Western scientists have a hard time buying the facts. We need such concrete evidence. But tell me, what happens when your breath leaves your body? You are dead. Can you bring it back? Try to find out that secret while you are alive. Your life will be transformed. When I lived in Miami Beach, I read an article in Omni magazine about the Monroe Institute. Robert Munro was a radio engineer in the late 50s. One day he was sleeping, he felt himself drifting outside of his body. He thought he was dying. He had this experience recurring every month or so. Finally, he went to the doctor. He was concerned that he was going crazy or he had some major illness. Robert told the doctor what was happening, and the doctor told him that maybe he was having an out-of-body experience. He recommended some books to read on the subject. Robert Monroe learned that his experiences were about the same as his. Maybe he wasn't so crazy after all. The experience kept on coming. Being a radio engineer, he thought, can I produce this experience by using sound waves? After years of research, he learned to utilize sound waves. He came up with a system which uses sound waves to trigger the right and left hemisphere synchronization of the brain. This technique can be modified for learning, health, exploring, etc. The Omni article said he had a week-long course in the foothills of Virginia. I was fascinated by this article, called the office, and found out there was an opening for the course. This course is called Gateways. I arrived at the site of the course and was captivated by the beauty of the place. The site was in the mountains. There were a few houses in the property. The foundation owned a good chunk of land. We were oriented on days of what to be. They took away our watches, so we had no idea what time it was. This is no ordinary course. Most courses I know are a lecture. This course was based upon experience. At the Institute, our actual living quarters was our laboratory. Each bed had its own individual unit. There were headphones with a microphone, which I'll tell about later. There was a curtain which closed off the bed so no light could come in. Each unit was totally self-contained. At the first meeting, they told us a schedule. We would get up in the morning, shower, and then play a series of tapes. After each tape, we would go to a conference room and talk about our experience. We would do this throughout the day. We would have lunch and breaks throughout the day. Day 1 started. We learned about Focus 10. The step was about how to put your body asleep at the same time keep our mind awake. The tapes were incredibly produced. We put on these headphones, lie down on our bed, and have these incredible experiences. Day after day, the experiences would build on each other. I remember some experience being completely taken out of my body and being bathed in light. There were talks with angels. I call the Monroe Institute the Disneyland of spirituality. It was amazing to go to a place and see modern scientific equipment being used for self-discovery. So many of these tapes were for our own self-discovery. I remember in some tapes I could hardly walk afterwards. I was quite shy and didn't talk too much about my experiences. I would recommend this program to anybody. During our course, we had a doctor, minister, computer programmers, housewives, and people from all walks of life. It was definitely worth it. Robert Monroe is definitely an amazing man. He's definitely on the cutting edge of technology. Intro. This is Richard Fletcher, Monday, October something, second day of the Gateway program. I would like to say at this point, I'm diving deeper and discovering more of myself, and I'm very impressed by the whole operation that is happening around here. Energy bar tool. My experience was building the energy bar was going to take some time to get into in order to develop it. It wasn't too hard to construct. My experience was very simple. I kind of drifted to sleep. I wasn't there for the whole time, but I had some powerful connections beforehand to see this energy bar could take me to another dimension. It could take me to the other side. It definitely has endless possibilities for what this bar can be used for. I can use this bar as a beacon to attract my guides, or to use it to protect me from other things. It looks like a versatile tool. I just need to develop more and more usage of it. Freeform 10. This tape was Freeform 10. My experience was using the energy bar and trying to see and trying to feel how I could actually use it in a practical form. I used this energy bar to create a vibration inside of me that was vibrating faster, 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 and faster. I then used the energy bar to go up and down my body. I used it like a laser to take away all the negative energy and impurities from my body. I would then take it into my brain and subconscious. From there, it turned my dark subconscious into light. From there, I had the ability to be more conscious. Then I used the energy bar to create swirling effects around my body. This would create a much more intense kind of energy. I put this energy bar in my third eye. I was experiencing an inner dimension. Liftoff. This is the liftoff tape. This tape, I found myself I lifted myself through the roof, through the clouds, past the moon. I lifted myself and then lowered myself down. I was putting together the kinesiology of actual lifting off. Introduction to Focus 12. Before the tape even began, I was just completely sailing inside. I was totally just accepting myself. I was trying to accept my hesitations. Hesitations is your friend. Just go inside and enjoy the experience just like a child. In the Focus 12 state is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful state. It is a state of freedom, of joy, and of happiness. It was an expanded state of awareness. I was experiencing this state just like a child. A child just accepts and accepts. This is the place I want to be all the time, the place of acceptance. If the hesitation is there, accept it just like a friend. It's okay. I don't have to control any kind of experience. All I have to do is ride on that energy, just ride on that joy, just ride on that beauty, and ride on that light. All I have to do is let the experience come to me on its own accord. I know what I'm looking for, and I know it's happening moment by moment. It will open up to me in its prime moment. In the meantime, I will just enjoy each experience that comes to me. I'm putting my attention on what is coming my way. I'm not being directed towards one aspect of what I think is supposed to happen, but just to have an open mind. Focus 12 is such a beautiful state. I've been there many, many times before. Problem solving. This tape is called Problem Solving. My problem that I was trying to solve was the question, how can I practically leave my body consciously? I had this one vision walking down the stairs from the Gateway program, from upstairs to downstairs. And then an answer came to me that I'm learning the tools. Don't really worry about it. Everything will simply come to you. It's just a matter of relaxing into that experience and just accept it. It will come in due time. Most of all, just be patient. It will come. There are means. This is not a supernatural thing. If you practice, it will happen. It will manifest. This was the question I put out, and I waited, and this was the answer that I got. I'm just learning how to more visualize and to see images and to accept images. There's something for me to learn from these images. In the past, I would ignore them, but I know not to look at them. I now know to look at them and to embrace them. Free Flow 12. The name of this tape is Free Flow 12. My main objective was to explore this state of consciousness. I just let go and just enjoy this state of consciousness. It's very beautiful, that experience I had. I was just bathing in the light of experiencing that beautiful vibration inside. I was just riding that wave and riding that energy inside. I saw a picture of a person named Catherine who was there. I was just experiencing her inner beauty and her happiness. I was just experiencing a very simple friendship. It was very beautiful and very simple. I just rode with that experience and was open to various nonverbal communication experiences. I have the ability inside of me. It's there and it's latent, and I have experience with my brother. Overall, it's a very simple, beautiful experience. It was beautiful to see the potential that is there. I'm very happy with this place. I'm very happy to partake in this program just to relax and swim and socialize. I feel I'm really establishing a stronger connection inside. Free movement. The name of this tape is Free Movement. There are different positions to leave the body. The first one was the most powerful. I feel with this technique I can master it with some practice. It's a very powerful way to explore different worlds and dimensions inside of myself. The next thing was lifting myself up from a string lying down and lifting myself up at a 45-degree angle. This is very powerful. All in all, I can see the glimpse that I can experience the freedom that I want. I see that it's happening. In the long road, I will definitely have that experience. 5 questions. There's the tape called 5 Questions. The first question is, who am I? My last lifetime, I realized I was a student of Ramakrishna, a famous Indian saint in the 1800s. My name was M. I wrote the Gospel of Ramakrishna. That's what I read, the autobiography of a yogi, completely identified with Yogananda. Yogananda would come and see me as a child. My next question is, what is my purpose here? My purpose here on earth is to expand, become completely one with the Lord, and to express His knowledge and love. Also to establish the kind of communication a human being can have with his Creator. The message that I was told to do was keep on trucking, keep on going, and I will be led to areas I never knew existed. This workshop that I'm doing is something I wanted to do for a long time. All my dreams and aspirations are coming true. This tape was delightful just to go deeper and deeper into this experience. Nonverbal communication. I just can't believe it. This tape is nonverbal communication. I just got totally taken away. I saw all these incredible things, lights coming on my navel, blooming to a lotus blossom, a Christmas tree with Lord Jesus on it. The next thing I knew, around this table were people from outer space sitting around. They were just talking to me, and there was such a feeling of love, energy, emotion, excitement, and joy. My whole body was sweating, and tears of joy were streaming down my face. Now I know what the experience at NBC is. It's such an incredible place and experience. This is the type of communication that human beings are meant to have. I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just totally 100% fulfilled. I just can't believe this. This form of communication is so beautiful. Just to see and feel the kind of communication that we can have. Just pure love being transferred. Introduction to Focus 15. This tape was the introduction to Focus 15. My experience of this time was to sense and experience a state of no time. There was a tremendous void, a tremendous light inside of me. By being with this light, it is possible to travel to any time zone, past, present, and future. It's wonderful to know that through this experience, I can learn to do so. I can slowly just ease myself into this consciousness. It's incredible to know that there's a place that is beyond time. There is so much energy that it's hard to get used to. Free Flow 15. This tape was Free Flow 15. I experienced a beautiful love with Kathy. I experienced a beautiful connection between us. I just completely want to dive into that experience. I know I've met her before, but I don't remember where. See Maledic experience. My daughter was there, and her daughter was there. We were all playing and laughing together. It was so much fun. We were all experiencing so much joy and happiness. No tape experience. This was the no tape experience. This was like all the rest of the tapes. I brought myself into 10, then 12, then 15. All the states I experienced in an inner NVC communication. I just rode this inner wave that keep on getting faster and faster and faster. I found myself in the various states of consciousness. It was so easy to just go right through them. When I reached the 15th state, I just explored that state. It was so beautiful to be in its place where there's no time, just love, light, and happiness. We don't need these tapes. They're just like training wheels on a bicycle. It's nice to know there's a technique that we can use to experience this. The silence is wonderful and beautiful. I'm very happy to know that I can incorporate this into my life. It's all happening. What incredible love that exists inside. It's so natural and beautiful. Communication point 15. Communication point 15. I went to a state and asked for any kind of messages. The messages I received were in the form of NVC, verbal communication. My first message was a picture of Kathy. The next picture was an image of a dove, which gave me peace. Then I was brought up and saw the image of Sri Maharaji. My whole feeling was sensing, discovering that there's a communication in this state. Is where communication can occur between your guides and teachers. They can, in this state, teach you and communicate with you. They communicate not so much with words, but with images. They can transmit their experiences through images. I just need to learn more and more about this. I'm very hopeful about communicating with my guides. No name tape. Before this tape started, they played Amazing Grace. I couldn't believe what was going on. Maharaji was there in his crown and glory. It brought me back where I was 15 years ago. It was very emotional and I cried a lot. Just to experience the joy inside. Amazing grace. This life is truly amazing. It really is glorious. I then kind of drifted off. When I came back, I was surrounded by swans. I really tried to do the tape, but with some of the techniques I couldn't quite understand. The main thing I wanted to emphasize was an amazing grace. It truly is amazing, amazing beyond words. That is the main thing I wanted to communicate. Relation Galaxy. The name of this tape was Relation Galaxy. At this point, I was supposed to put on my headphones. I was just totally God. I went to this place, the center of the universe. At the center was this incredible power of love, the primordial energy for this universe. It was beyond words to explain, to experience the unity of the universe being supported by this primordial vibration. I saw in this state swans and a beautiful lotus flower that was blooming and blooming. There exists in this place all the great masters. There exists that divine light, the light of God, which exists everywhere. This is such a wonderful place to be. I was experiencing my body like an astronaut experiencing the various G-forces. My whole body was totally contorted. I'm still not out of that place. I just want to live there and dwell there. 5 messages. The name of this message was 5 messages. The 5th message was had something to do in December. There's a mission that I'm getting prepared for. I moved from Miami to California with Catherine in December. My fourth one was that I should be good friends with Kathy. The number one message was devotion to the Lord. I should be an example of this. The Lord wants love. Number two was that everything I ever desired will come true. All my dreams will be satisfied. Another purpose that came to me was to love everybody I encounter. I should be an example, accepting people of who they are and love them without condition. I should be a simple messenger of the Lord. I don't remember the other one. Vibe Flow. This tape was called Vibe Flow. This is a real nice tape. Bob Robert Monroe just increased the frequency level. I just got in tune with that frequency level. I just went higher and higher and higher. Shh. I was totally absorbed in that energy. After that experience was traveling at the speed of light. It's like being in a rocket going faster than warp speed. It was traveling at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second. Next on the tape was music from the session. I forgot to turn off the tape. I was completely blown away. I was in total bliss. This music just brings me back to that state. I was in total awe. There was a laughter in the background. The rest of the people were discussing their experiences. Side 2. During this music, I was seeing a picture of Sri Maharaji's father. I saw an image of Sri Maharaji holding Maharaji. I had an NVC experience of going into a dream and coming out and realizing this was an NVC experience. I just wanted to go back inside for a few more minutes. I could very easily just leave and never come back. Long pause. 15 to 20. The name of this tape was 15 to 20. I felt I was resonating with the colors green and purple. It'll take me time to slowly know what this experience means. Slowly I will begin to understand all this. Long pause. Music is playing in the background. 1-1 patterning. This tape is called 1-1 patterning. I kind of zoned out of this tape. I just have to have something in my mind, hold it, and repeat it every single day, and it will come true. By putting my subconscious over time, it will come to existence. I am incorporating everything in my life. The main key is to utilize these tools in my life. I am the director of my life. I am in charge of maintaining and expressing my emotions. At the same time, I just enjoyed the feeling of love that was all around. I had such a peaceful rest. I forgot to turn off the tape. Long periods of silence. Freeform 21. The name of this tape is Freeform 21. I just got totally taken inside of me. I just really enjoyed the experience inside of myself. The joy and peace were overflowing. All my guides and teachers were there. Once again, I forgot to turn off the tape. Freeform 15. My experience on Freeform 15 was completely wonderful. I went to such a deep place inside. I had this wonderful experience that happened there. Catherine was there, and we're just beings of light. There was this big heart that surrounded us. We were just one in that heart. Out of that heart, our souls just merged. From the light came from my third eye and Catherine's third eye. It was like two laser beams of light and love merging into our bodies. We just totally became one. It was like a sexual experience, but it didn't contain sexual energy. It was just pure love. We were both totally fulfilled in that love, in that joy, in that happiness. I was inside of her and she was just riding the wave of love. Both of us were in tune and in synchronization and experienced the oneness of each other. Coming from her breast was this liquid light which I was drinking. Each drop tasted like nectar. I was completely intoxicated. At one point her daughter appeared, my daughter appeared, and we all hugged each other. We were all laughing and dancing and singing. It was just like a family of love, beings of love. Another point after this self-expression, Catherine just laid on top of me. I just totally melded into her. We just exchanged the beautiful love that existed between us. Both of us were totally saturated in that love. We were both in tune with each other. It was such a wonderful feeling. I feel I've known her for a while. I don't know where. Somehow there's a connection between Catherine, myself, and Srimraji. I haven't figured it out. I just have these feelings that something beautiful and simple is manifesting in my life. I'm open to it. Later on, in one of my tapes, I received a message that on Thanksgiving, my daughter and I should go and visit Catherine and her child in Virginia. We should just go and play and have fun. Introduction to Focus 21. The introduction to Focus 21 was completely a mind-blowing experience. As soon as I put on my headphones, I was tuned into that light. I was completely submerged in that light inside. I was just totally taken over. I was flying with a whole group of swans. There was this beautiful lake where thousands of lotus flowers were just blooming and blooming. I went through the various stages of consciousness. I went from 10 to 12 to 15 to all the different colors. At 21, a marvelous thing happened. Bob was there, Robert Monroe, and he was just shining. He was his joyful self. He just looked up to me smiling and gave me the thumbs up sign. He said, "Go for it and enjoy that experience." There was so much love and communication between us. I recognized him and he recognized me. Both of us know that this is an incredible journey, the ultimate journey. Once he said that, I was completely ready to accept and experience that wonderful light of my existence. I then went to a place where I experienced a light that was supreme love and intelligence. Every single cell of my existence was filled with this intelligence. I was just one and bathing in that light and joy. I was just flying like a swan. I was just flying like that beautiful bird. That swan is free. I felt like my soul was free. My soul was just singing in that joy and happiness inside. I was just one. It was so wonderful. Freeform 21. One of the most amazing tape experiences was Freeform 21. I don't think there's any words to describe what happened there. From the moment I put on my headphones, throughout the entire process, I was riding the waves of ecstasy and joy. Technically, Bob Monroe was a genius to develop that tape. The sound that he was emitting were the sounds and frequencies that reside inside. It was completely a marvelous experience. I was completely experiencing the oneness of joy. I had these visions of Catherine. She would just smile at me and just drift off. Once again, I would dive deeper and deeper into that experience inside. I would go deeper and deeper into that light. My whole body was like an astronaut experiencing the G-force. I was experiencing how powerful and incredible the energy is. This energy touches my whole molecular structure, and even beyond that, it reaches the soul and the very essence of life. I felt so wonderful that everything is on track in my life. I have a vision, a quest, and it's happening. All my dreams are coming true on all levels. One experience that I want to express, I went to bed on the last night of the program about 12 o'clock. I was kind of tired. I just needed to go inside and experience that inner beauty. I drifted off to sleep and was just in that place of love. I was in a nice deep sleep. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I was woke up with a bang. I automatically just woke up. Something inside of me told me to go take a shower and go see Catherine. I did this. I was kind of hesitant. What am I doing? I just had this faith and intuition to do this. I went up to Catherine's room and very quietly walked into her room. I opened up her curtain and very slowly touched her. She looked at me and she couldn't tell. She was in a state of shock herself. She thought at first I was a ghost. All she could see was my head, because the rest of the body was behind the curtain. She looked at me and said, "Is that you, or is it a ghost?" I reassured her that yes, it was me. I just climbed into bed with her and just held her the rest of the night. We just exchanged the feeling of love that we had. We just caressed each other and loved each other. It was such a warm inner exchange of love. It wasn't a sexual energy. It was like the energy of love, of satisfaction, and of joy. It was a wonderful experience. At times I would find myself snoring. My body was asleep, but I was wide awake. I was such in a beautiful state inside. I was completely surrounded by love. That's all these beautiful swans completely surrounded us. They were protecting us and saying everything is a-okay. Everything is going to plan. Just relax and enjoy each other. At one point, when Catherine was drifting off to sleep, I saw one of my gods named Running Water. I saw his face and saw he was an Indian. At one point we were brothers. We were once in a state of laughing and playing and interacting with the forces of nature. It was such a beautiful connection. I remember coming out of a dream state and all of a sudden, bam, there he was. We talked to each other for some time. He was the eternal brave. He was forceful, powerful, and full of love. That consciousness lies inside of me. I felt so wonderful the whole night. What a wonderful way to end the week.
Yeah, this is Richard Fletcher, and this is Monday, October something, and the second day of the Gateway program, and I'd like to say that up to this point I'm diving deeper and discovering more of myself, and I'm very impressed by the whole operation that is happening around here. And this Gateway program. Thanks. This is the energy bar tool. And my experience was building the energy bar. Was going to take some time to get into it. And you develop it, and this is not a tool you can actually use it for. It wasn't too hard to construct. It was a very, actually my experience was very, very simple. I kind of drifted to sleep. Kind of wasn't there the whole time. But I definitely had some powerful connections beforehand, seeing that this energy bar could take me to another dimension, could take me to the other side. It's definitely got endless possibilities of what a bar can be used for. Definitely through this bar, I think I can probably use it as a beacon from now on to attract guides or to attract other people who can protect me from other things. So probably all in one versatile tool. And I just need to develop more and more usage of it and see exactly where I can actually implement and what way, what form can be reused. And that's the end of that. Before 10 and my experience was that I was using the energy bar. I was trying to see and trying to see how I can actually use it in a kind of practical form. Could I use it? And I use it in many different ways. One, I use the energy bar to create vibration inside of me, making vibration, that frequency, that crystal, making the more rapid, faster and faster and faster and faster. Everything that I was born with the energy bar, like going up and down your body, use them as a laser, take away all the negative energy, all the negativity in my body, get into my brain, into my subconscious, into your true darkness, unconscious, into light, into more consciousness, making me aware of each of myself. Then I use the energy bar to create a swirling effect on my body, to swirl and swirl and swirl around me, creating intense energy. Then let the energy bar in my third eye, I dove into it, just experiencing a place, actually not a place, but to know that through the energy bar of the reach into another dimension. And let's see what else. Basically, it seems my own potential to see how to use it, how to create it. Like a the lift-off tape, and in this tape when I experience it, simply lifting myself up just to the top of the roof into a cloud, and then I lifted myself up past around the area past the moon, and it was more of a visualization exercise than an actual lift-off. I visualize each step of the process, lifting myself up and lowering myself down, and mostly I visualize it by seeing inside and actually trying to put myself in that place and being in that place inside. Trying to see and feel and put together the kinesiologies of actually lifting up. Okay, that's it. Okay, this is introduction to Focus 12. And before the tea began, I was already just completely sailing inside. What I tried to do was just this time, a long time, just totally accept myself. The hesitation, sometimes when I meditate, I'm just trying to be there. Just accept that self. Just accept that thing. The hesitation is my friend. And then I just go inside. Just like a child. And the focus, 12 state was such an incredible, beautiful state. State of freedom and joy and happiness and being And this tape was called Problem Solving, and my problem that I was trying to solve was a question. So I want to know how can I practically leave my body consciously at will. And I had one vision of walking down the stairs for the gateway program from upstairs to downstairs. And then, as I consciously through my question slide another answer that I found, where I would just say that I'm being prepared, I'm learning the tools, don't really worry about it, but simply everything will come to you. Just as a matter of relaxing into that experience and accepting it, and it will come in its time. And most of all, just be patient, and it will come. These are means. It's not a supernatural thing. Some not happens. But if you practice it, it will happen. It will manifest. And this was this experience that basically I put out and waited and I came back. And I'm just learning now to more visualize and to see images, to accept images, and to see that there's something for me to learn from them, something to learn from images, things that maybe in the past I would ignore. Now I have the opportunity to actually focus, perceive. And the name of this tape was Free Flow 12. And my main point, my main object was really to explore this state of consciousness. You know, to just let go and simply enjoy, to experience what this place could take me. And it's a very beautiful experience that I had, like just completely just being in the light and just experiencing that incredible vibration inside. And simply just riding with the wave and just riding with the energy and being with it and seeing the many, many orbs inside. And I saw a picture of a person here named Kathy who was here and just experiencing just her interviewing her happiness. It's just very simple friendship. And it's just very, very beautiful, very simple. And I just roll with that experience and experiencing and being opened up to various NPC's communication. Because I know I have the ability inside, it's there, it's latent individual experience with my brother. And overall, just a very simple, beautiful experience. And just being open and experiencing just the potential that lies there. And I'm very happy right here, very happy in this place, very happy just to have the opportunity to be at this program, to relax and to swim and to go and have fun and be with people and be with myself and really establish that connection inside, that foundation. The name of this tape was The Movement, and this tape, there are different positions how to leave the body. And the first one, actually the very most powerful, is doing the long route. And I tried that several times. I feel that practice is very powerful way to go and explore different worlds and different dimensions inside myself, inside this practice makes it beautiful. And the next thing was letting myself fall straight, was a tape called 5 Questions. And the first question was, who am I? And my last password. And I realized that I was a devotee of Ramakrishna, and that was, my name was M. And I guess I wrote that gospel of Ramakrishna. And that's why one time when I was a kid, I read the book Bhagavad Yogi, and I identified with Yogananda, because even though I never had seen me as a child. I guess the question was my purpose here. My purpose here on earth is simply to expand and to become completely one with my Lord, and to express His knowledge, His love, and establish the kind of communication that a human being can have with his Creator in all the glorious manifestations. And when it came to what my purpose is, my purpose was really to do that. And when I say what the message was, the message that they told me to do was to just keep on trucking, essentially, just keep on going and expanding, and really open myself, and He will lead me to areas. And this workshop that I'm doing is I dreamed this a long time ago. It's really manifesting, and all those dreams that I have, aspirations, are really going to come true, and they are coming true. And this was delightful, really beautiful, just to go. And the question was, who am I? And this is NPC, and I just got totally just completely taken away. I just saw all these incredible things, like this light coming out of my navel, blooming dome blossom, a Christmas tree with Jesus on it. Next thing I know is around this table was some kind of people from outer space that are just talking to me, and just so much feeling of just love and energy and emotion and excitement and joy, and my body just sweating and just tears in my eyes, and I'm just joyous. So now I know what NPC was, and I had that time and time again. And it's such an incredible place, incredible experience. To know that's the type of communication that's happening. Oh, man. I just like to say thank you. Oh, man. I'm just totally 100% fulfilled. I just can't believe this. The communication, the way it communicates is so beautiful. So beautiful. Just to feel and see what type of communication we can have. Just pure love being transmitted. I guess this tape was the introduction to 50.